Have you noticed that your legs don't feel quite as strong as they used to? Maybe climbing stairs takes a little more effort. Maybe getting out of a chair takes an extra push. Or maybe you've started reaching for a railing without even thinking about it. If that's happening, you're not alone. But here's something important. Most people assume weak legs after 60 are simply part of getting older, something you accept, something you learn to live with. But what if that's only part of the story? Because in many cases, the earliest warning sign isn't weakness at all. It's hesitation. And once you notice it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Looking at a staircase and pausing for a second. Choosing the closest parking spot. Taking the elevator when you used to take the stairs. Cutting a walk a little shorter than you once did. Not because you can't do these things, because they suddenly feel like more effort than they used to. That hesitation often appears long before obvious weakness shows up. And today, we're going to talk about why. We'll cover 4 hidden causes that many people never hear about. The cycle that quietly steals confidence from millions of older adults. And 3 simple exercises that can help you maintain strength, mobility, and independence. One of those exercises is so simple that many people overlook it completely. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll understand why weak legs aren't always just aging and what you can start doing about it today. But before we get into those causes, I want to show you one simple exercise. Let's try something together. Find a sturdy chair. Sit near the front edge. Now, slowly stand up, pause for a moment. Then sit back down with control. That's 1 repetition. Try 5. Take your time. Simple, isn't it? But this movement is incredibly important. Every time you stand up from a chair, get out of bed, climb stairs, you're using these same muscles. That's why physical therapists often use this movement as a measure of functional strength. And here's what's interesting. Many people do exercises like this and still feel their legs becoming weaker. Why? Because exercise is only one piece of the puzzle. To understand what's happening, we need to look at the hidden causes. Let's start with the first one. Cause number 1, gradual muscle loss. The medical term is sarcopenia, but don't worry about the word. Here's what matters. As we get older, muscle naturally becomes easier to lose. And what makes this process so tricky is how quietly it happens. Nobody wakes up one morning and suddenly notices major muscle loss. Instead, it's subtle. A little less strength this year, a little more effort next year. Nobody notices the change from 1 month to the next. I remember reading a comment from a viewer who said, "I thought nothing was wrong because everything changed so slowly." That sentence stuck with me. Because that's exactly how muscle loss often works. Slowly enough that it feels normal, until one day carrying groceries feels harder, getting up from the floor feels harder, or climbing stairs feels harder. The encouraging news is this: muscles remain remarkably adaptable throughout life. Even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, your muscles can still respond to regular activity and strength training. That's something many people underestimate. And that's good news, because it means weakness isn't always a one-way street. Cause number 2, poor circulation. Your muscles depend on oxygen-rich blood. Without it, even healthy muscles may struggle to perform at their best. One viewer described it this way. She said, "My legs don't really hurt. They just feel heavy." Heavy. That's a word I hear often. Some people notice fatigue after a short walk. Others feel cramping. Others find themselves stopping to rest more often than they used to. And because these changes develop gradually, many people simply assume it's aging. Sometimes it is, but sometimes circulation plays a role. That's why it's important to pay attention to changes instead of automatically dismissing them. Your body often gives small signals before it gives big ones. Cause number 3, the brain-leg connection. This one surprises a lot of people. Every step you take begins with a message from your brain. That message travels through nerves and tells your muscles what to do. When those signals become less efficient, movement can feel different. Some people notice tingling, others notice numbness. Some simply feel less steady than they once did. Think about a phone call with a weak signal. The conversation still happens, but parts of the message aren't coming through clearly. The same idea can apply to communication between nerves and muscles. And when people understand this, they often stop thinking of weakness as just a muscle problem, because sometimes the issue involves the body's communication system too. Cause number 4, too much sitting. And this may be the hidden cause affecting the greatest number of people. Research has found that older adults who spend very large portions of the day sitting tend to experience significantly higher rates of muscle loss than those who spend less time inactive. Now think about a typical day. Morning coffee, sitting. Watching the news, sitting. Driving, sitting. Lunch, sitting. Television, sitting. Dinner, more sitting. Without realizing it, many people spend 10 or more hours seated every day. And here's the surprising part. A daily walk is wonderful. Please keep doing it. But one walk may not completely offset an otherwise inactive day. The body adapts to what it does most often. Challenge your muscles and they respond. Stop challenging them and they slowly begin to scale back. That's not punishment. That's biology. Now, I want to talk about something that may be the most important part of this entire video, the fear cycle. Someone notices a little weakness, so they become more careful. They walk less, take fewer stairs, avoid longer outings, avoid activities that feel challenging, and because they move less, they become weaker. Then, because they become weaker, they move even less. The cycle continues, and eventually, the biggest loss isn't strength, it's confidence. Because when I read comments from viewers, the fear usually isn't about muscles, it's about independence. It's about staying active, doing everyday things without help, remaining in control of your own life, and that's completely understandable. But here's what matters. Once you recognize the cycle, you can begin interrupting it, and sometimes that first step is much smaller than people think. Let's talk about that now. Exercise number 2, heel raises. Stand behind a sturdy chair. Hold it lightly for balance. Slowly rise onto your toes. Pause for a moment at the top, then lower yourself back down with control. Try 10 repetitions. This strengthens the calf muscles. And calves are more important than many people realize. They help support walking, balance, stability, and the ability to push off with each step. Many people focus on their thighs and completely forget their calves. Don't overlook them. Exercise number 3, marching in place. Stand tall. Hold a chair if you need extra support. Slowly lift one knee, lower it, then lift the other. Continue for about 30 seconds at a comfortable pace. Simple, absolutely, but effective. Many physical therapists use marching drills because they help train balance, coordination, and hip strength at the same time. And perhaps most importantly, they reinforce the movement patterns we use every single day while walking. Confidence doesn't come from thinking about balance. It comes from practicing it. 3 simple exercises, just a few minutes a day. That's a powerful place to start. Before we finish, here's what I hope you remember from today's video. Getting older is inevitable. Losing confidence in your legs doesn't have to be. Your future mobility isn't determined by age alone. It's influenced by the choices you make every day. Standing up a little more often, taking a short walk, doing a few chair stands after breakfast, small actions, repeated consistently. That's how meaningful change happens. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What has become more difficult lately? climbing stairs, getting out of a chair, walking longer distances, or maintaining your balance? Share your experience in the comments below. I read every one of them. And your story may help someone else realize they're not alone. If you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend or family member who might benefit from it. Subscribe now this channel, Rosa Prime Health. We're here to help you stay strong, active, and independent for years to come. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.